Assalamualaikum Gambia, assalamualaikum Senegal, auditeurs yi na ngeen def mbaa yéen ci jàmm.
Mbokki Gambia, maa ngi leen nuyu nuyób jàmm, nuyób yërmande, nuyób barke. Kilifa diina ak kilifa aada, sunu soppe, xarit, am di jàmm ak Gambia diaspora. Mag ak ndaw, góor ak jigéen, ak fépp fu waay mën a ne, Gambia si biir ak Gambia si biti. Ñu ngi leen nuyu yéen ñëppa te bàyyiwun kenn. Mbokk yi, yéen a ngi déglu Freedom Radio ak seeni mbokka Salieu Njie. Bési tey bi daldi tollook bésub samedi fukki fan ak juróom ñetta ci weeru mai atum 2024 comme nan ko gën a xamee rek ci kàllaama angale tey la Saturday the 18th of May 2024 mbokk yi aralba bi ñu jox gannaaw di ñetti fan ci gannaaw indi woon na fii ci Freedom Radio Professor Dr. Adama Sallah daldi def ak moom waxtaan boo xam ne ba saa si yàlla tey moo lembe réew mi mu feeñal fi lu bari wax fi lu bari reveal lu bari jëmale ko foofa sa Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. si biiru waxtaan ji Dr. Adama Sallah daldi feeñal ne Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital corruption ak financial mismanagement bi fa nekka jéggi na dayo lool ba nga xamee nag ne wax na lii fii ci Freedom Radio ñu gis ne dëgga Gambian yi yéen Gambian yi lii itteel na leen lool pour bugg a xam ñu ne bon fun jaar ñu dal di jëli kii di Dr. Abubacarr Jagne moom itam ñu mun a déggee ci moom su ndégee ci moom booleek la Dr. Adama Sallah daldi wax ku nekk daldi attel boppam ana naka la bugg a gisee li nga xam ne mooy xew bu yaagut xool naa Dr. Abubacarr Jagne awma ko moom itam gis naa ne ooyoon na ma fi mu nekk duma def ludut daldi ànd ak yéen ma daldi oo Dr. Abubacarr Jagne su ko defee ñu daldi waxtaan ak moom daldi déglu ba xam ana lan lay wax ba loog mbokk yi ñu daldi dem jëli Dr. Abubacarr Jagne. Assalamualaikum, Mr. Jagne.
Yes, Mr. Jagne.
maa ngi apologize bi nga call noonu fekk suma loxo busy woon.
No. You're good to go, don't worry.
Okay.
Nga def?
Alhamdulillah, sant yàlla rek na nga def.
Oh, I'm good.
Very good. maa ngi defoon interview man maa Dr. Sallah xam naa dégg nga interview bi. Definitely joxe na a lot of revelations. So mane, to be fair, yow itam war neen la jox a side of your story pour nga react si allegations yi nga xam ne moom la Mr. Sallah wax. Ndikte Mr. Sallah reveal na a lot of things li xew Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. Te gis nañ ne it is of great public interest. So mane dina fair tamit yow itam ñu dégga sa side pour ñun ñu mun a xam ma bugg a xam rek lan nga am pour wax si li nga xam ne moom la Dr. Adama Sallah wax.
Okay, Njie, I am sorry, I am not very good at listening to audios, so I may not have listened to all the information that Lanlawa what he has said. So I'll be very happy if you could just ask me one at a time. I'll respond to whatever, because as I told you before, I'm just finishing my ward round since morning. So I just finished. I'm just going now to Banjul. I finished in Demban, I'm going to Banjul. So that kind of my work, I hardly have time to sit on audios to listen to for a long time. And sometimes, because sometimes some certain things also, if you sit on it for too long, it gets you emotional. So you best to avoid those kind of things. But I will start by saying that I am quite disappointed with what I had. Not people calling me to tell me, but what I had, I'm quite disappointed, because I think this is so much unexpected of a very senior person in the health fraternity. And I think that he's been the longest serving board chairman, and whatever he may have said may have been addressed by him, and whatever should have been, I think there are ways that he could have done it that would have, even if they were true, that could have been ameliorated. But as I said, these are sometimes based on the Kuneka as an agenda. So if he has an agenda, so you have to push that agenda by every means possible. We in the fraternity of medicine, we always respect our seniors, and because of that, I'm doing this with a very serious constraint to say this, because we are trained to respect people, and we are not supposed to be saying things about them that probably would be seen in the wrong light. So because it portrays an image on you, and that is unfortunate. But the other thing is that this is a public opinion that he is trying to build around people like me, and I think that it makes all the sense for me to say what I think is wrong. I am told, he said, I have built a clinic in my house, that I do practice and took hospital materials there. Apparently, man, I don't even see people in my house. Even my family, I tell them come to hospital. I don't like people coming to my house, sick people coming to my house, because the only time my family have me is once in a week, maybe on a Sunday if I'm not on call. And that moment, I want them to be separate between me and them. And I come to work in the morning as early as 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I close sometimes 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. So I don't know how I could do that. But I will want to start by saying that, you see, if you acquire a genuine person and you are dealing with things that are really important for public, it's better you try to say the truth, because at least at least what you're saying probably is not true. The whole of the problems of Dr. Sallah is based on the fact that I'm not giving him what he wants. Unfortunately, that is what his problem. The more wants to conjecture. I have whatever I'm telling you today, I'll give you evidence as soon as we finish this conversation. I'll send it to you. Okay?
Lan moy di reaction
yes,
bi ngeen déggee suma interview bi ak Dr. Sallah, lan moy sen reaction, lan ngeen feel yeen mi liggéey Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital? Mr. Jagne, are you there?
Yeah. Yes, I'm here. It's just a call that I interrupted my phone, my conversation. Yeah. Sorry. I'm saying I'm not quite surprised, because you will be surprised that last week he came to attack me personally. Nimasaga, as I said, we are not expected to return such things to seniors. So, and it's everybody in who is well seasoned as a doctor knows that Lulu, that's the least you expect from a doctor. I know the saga some sound to Mako Hamne Yako Jitu Siligebi. So he came to attack me personally. So I'm not surprised that these things are coming up. And when I had when I was told about the interviews, I was like, this is the last part of his reaction, because I'm told that them nafuneka the wahli is going to ministry. I'm told he went to the president's office. I'm told he went to so many media houses. And probably this is the last part that he has. And he has called people, on voice notes around, so now that he's here, so yes, since apparently I'm not the one who started, he started it. So now you're asking me, so I'll have to answer your questions. But this whole process is long-standing, I think. I'm sure you've heard that Dr. Sallah found a lot of interest in University of Iowa. That's the American University, Buneka Gambia fee. So this university is operating, and most of the students, they come to the hospital for Janga. And with all fairness to Gambian taxpayers, I think it makes sense that Nganeka collect $15,000 or so dollars from people for school fees, and then you are not paying even a dollar to the hospital. We all know medical education, like it's an apprenticeship. Coming them see workshop, so they come there, and that has become his problem. Why are we? Before they were in pain, and all these years, and I told them that it makes no sense to host all this number of students, and they are not able to pay any money. So we went to the extent of having to have an MOU with them. Then he called for an emergency board meeting on 2 occasions just to make sure that that thing was stalled. So all of us were quite concerned, because I think that as a senior doctor in this country, I thought but now, as a board chairman, as a very senior doctor in the country, and having an institution, a private institution, we operate and earning so much money from their service that's been done within the hospital, and for the first time I have heard of an emergency board meeting was related to these things. We had a number of children that died here in the hospital during AKI. When that is a management problem, so the board has nothing to do with that. We had COVID, and we've been looking after all these troubles around the time with difficulty getting oxygen. An emergency board meeting. But just because Iowa was asked for new school fees, part of their school fees to the hospital, he had asked for a board meeting twice or 3 times, an emergency board meeting to discuss that issue. And I think, even being fair, I'm interest in Iowa, I thought it is fair that when something like that was discussed in the board, you should excuse yourself, so that, because of your conflict of interest, one law say boka. But unfortunately, that is what has been happening. The other issue that I know was, he said he sells things to the hospital, and now he has a house in the Oye Kertoro, is opposite his clinic, and there are doctors who come here to do postgraduate training. And I'm told also that more initiate postgraduate training. I'm sure being called initiate more, because that thing has been going on since when he was just, I'm not going to say Halis, and now he has got interest. But when that was starting, but I will not even go into that detail. But the public, even those in the medical fraternity knows and how it is going, and why it is going, how it's going. But that is not even the relevant point. But what I try to say is that fee, and they are accommodated in his house, a single room with a toilet, and charging them $3,000. Now, $3,000 they should increase to $4,000. So that I don't think is fair, because if you are the board chairman, you shouldn't be doing business with the hospital. And to be fair, those doctors, they are better off in Banjul, not in Senegambia, where they are going to train doctors who are in Banjul. I thought it would be easier for them to be in Banjul, at least they mun nañoo jóg rek dem si lopitaan bi jàngale xale yi or docteur yi delloowaat than to stay in Banjul ñu ñoo leen war a transport from there indi leen lopitaan. I think that wasn't the right thing to do, and from then onwards I decided to say that we should look for accommodation for those people in Banjul, and those things are things that are not pleasant to him. We have had his daughter, Doma Mujigen, pour liggéey si lopitaan bi. She has summa cum laude in records keeping. So when you work admin director bi ñëw si man ne ma laaj ne mu ne doomam dañ ko war a jox liggéey dafa bëgg a apply for head of the records office, records department. Ma ne ko okay, so na apply formally, then we will know what to do and we do an interview for her. Biñ ko interviewé, she has gotten only a bachelor's degree in records keeping, and am na ñoo xam ne ñu fa liggéey for over 5, 6, 7, 8 years ñoo xam ne amaguñ, we haven't given them that position of head of the records because they haven't gotten a master's degree yet. So Maneko, look, in the interview, I was very impressed that she's interest of going home, coming back home and serve. But I think qualification get a good plans the head of records. So Munenko a lower job title that is lower than the head of the records. So I'm a master's, right? Then in the meantime, Munenko job the position. And days after, I was told that mom, Dr. Sallah Doma dijel liggéey bi. So, and I'm told that he's not happy with nanguñ ko jëli that position. Yeah. So the problems of the hospital, which I'm quite not surprised he's bring up and putting our salary slips online. I think that you want to have the lopitaan is a board institution, and every salary that you see on that from the hospital is approved by the board. So if now the board chairman is the one that is putting that salary up in form of query, I'll be surprised because that is supposed to be his job. More assign or board more assigned can more lan you are fake.
You can more leak documents to the people.
Momoko Jeldi, he requested it from finance. He requested the document from finance.
The fogna ne moko leak.
Finance.
The flow or ne momoko leak.
But my question is that if in the hospital you can only ask for your own pay slip, and that is the rule. A finance money can sub pay slip so request it. Yours above. So, and man, I've never requested for my pay slip since musuma ko request in my entire practice. Musuma laajte lan jox lañ ma sama pay slip ma seet lan lañ ma war a fay. So if I see my pay and he has come to ask for my pay slip and jox nañ ko sama pay slip, who do I expect to be say kan mo ko joxe nit ñi?
Yaa ngi wax mbiri University of Iowa, yaa ngi wax mbiri payment bi 15,000 bi gaay wara fay. Li nga xamne mom la students wara fay, lan moy li nga xamne moy li nahari Dr. Sallah in your own views?
I think the fact that I was insisting that they should pay. I think that is the point. And I think I will not be fair to Gambian taxpayers. In a university is private, you pay that amount of money, and they are using our institution. It's a taxpayers institution, and they are not contributing anything.
So, Mr. Adama Sallah, mom lan la bëggoon dafa bëggoon ñu jàng free of charge.
That is what has been going on for years. Duñ dee fay dara, and then even this ñu leen dee jàngal ñoom ñoo dee tànn ñooñu noonu. Man, I've been approached several times. I refused it. Then ñoo waxtaan ak yow. Suñu fay ñu jox la xaalis yéen ngeen séddoo comme osusu. You, in your own understanding, you think as senior people as Dr. Sallah dañu war a boot si boppam sa war naa nangu loolu. Nit ki ñi ñëw di fay sa staff ñoo xam ne they are supposed to be working for you full time. Jox leen liggéey by the side. And ñoo di leen jox xaalis like xaalis in the raw cars ñoom ñu ko séddoo. Should that be the case?
sone ñoom ñan nga miin Dr. Sallah nga miin ak ñeneen ñooñu mooy ñan lan nga miin soo waxee ñoom
because moom fa la dee liggéey Dr. Gassama foofu la dee liggéey ñoom ñëpp they are both members of Dr. Gassama mooy dean bi at Iowa and he's working full time in the hospital.
moom ak Dr. Gassama kan
ñoom ñaar laa xam ne ak ñoo xam ne they are full time working and those two as heads of that institution and they are also conflicted in the hospital.
te yaa ngi miin American University bi nga xam ne moom leen start bu yàggut Gambia moom nga miin dafa utee University of the Gambia.
yàgg na de yàggut comme University of the Gambia but yàgg na it's not new. It's been several years now. I'm sure that this was way back more than 10 years ago now. At least I'm up to 10 years.
Si sa gis-gis xanaa bon dafa mel ni students yi den dee gisante ñoom fay leen xaalis ñoom ñu jël xaalis bi séedoo ko den ñoom ñooy decide yan students ñu ñëw si university bi maanaam dafa am daal conflict of interest maanaam dafa am daal lu nekk diggante Dr. Sallah ñu moo liggéeyal ak students yi loolu nga bëgg a wax.
lu may wax mooy loo xam ne yow yaa si njiit ok mais lopitaan bi yow yaa de board chairman and you have a university that is operating and yow yaa ngi si am loxo and then ñaari yi seen interest yow yaa si war a decide foog naa ne loolu warta nekk in your hands because at least there should be a neutral person more to decide loolu noonu and I think all this while guys they are coming to school, they are coming to learn here. I called the way it is going. As soon as I took this office, I think Lincoln no. I wrote a letter to them. I think they want an MOU. At least every student we know to the hospital. At least for the hospital to at least benefit from this set of students that are coming to the hospital. They didn't oblige. They said they were going to come back. They never responded. I wrote a reminder letter. When it came to the worst, I told them we are going to stop the students. I sent them a letter and said, end of the year, that was in December last year, if Solenyo would to sign an MOU with us, they now stop students from coming to us. Then they sent a delegation to Siman. I cannot accept that until they come and agree for us to have an agreement, and it must be on student to student basis. Nyata student gena indi lolu lañ wara fay. We don't until we had agreed on some payment terms. Nyata lañ wara fay. Suddenly he came up and called for emergency board meeting. In the board meeting, the things should go to judiciary and whatever. Delay it. He called for another board meeting. So the process has been until now they are not paying and the students are still coming. And in that meeting they made us convince us to agree that we should let the students come. They will agree and they will pay. So until now that payment is not done. Until now their students are coming and they are using the same facility. I thought as a board chairman, if you are serving the interests of the hospital, this is one important thing that law hamne deng wara taxaw nga make sure ne the people who are supposed to pay entitlement to the hospital do pay.
Lan nga foog ne motax Dr. Adama Sallah bugut students ci di fay?
Well, I think I'm not sure, but lan motax, but I can only believe that because he is either a shareholder in that university or he's one of their board members or executive. I know that he teaches there too. According to him, he teaches there too.
Foog nga ne bon li dafa am lu ñoo ooyee conflict of interest.
Well, that's why I started. That's where I started. I think it's a conflict of interest. More that I think that he was going to rescue himself, recuse himself from any discussions or anything that has to do with institutions. I thought it would have been better somebody else to negotiate between those two institutions. Man suma gis suma xam bari wud and then suma experience bari wud, but from my understanding foog naa ne loolu la war a demee.
yaa ngi doon wax mbiri $3,000 pour students si stay Sénégambia si accommodation boo xam ne Dr. Adama Sallah moo ko provide ba pare ngeen ne daf koy yokkatu $4,000 loolu mbiri ak ban façon accommodation la.
It's not students there. These are professors. ñu war a ñëw jàngale doctors fii. They are in the postgraduate bu moo wax ni moom moo ko initiate loolu laay wax nii dama ne boobu seen lecturers yi day jógee from the sub-region ñëw pour jàngale fii ñooñu lañ accommodate in that facility.
Facility boobu kan moo ko moom.
moom moo ko moom.
lan nga foog ne moo tax mënul leen a providal wala University of Iowa American University bi lan tax ñoom mënul a providal lecturers yi nii accommodation.
No, it's not University of Iowa. This is postgraduate. Gambia's postgraduate program. Like,
okay.
We are training doctors to become specialists in the country.
Okay.
And those specialists, they come from the sub-region. Nigeria, Ghana, they come from the sub-region.
Okay, understood.
And when they come, sometimes their contracts are like 1 year, every year we renew it. Some are here for 3 years or something like that.
Okay. But lan moo tax Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital mënuna providal postgraduate students si professionals si lan tax provide leen accommodation lan moo tax ngeen bàyyi responsibility bi ki nga xam ne kii mooy board chairman bi Dr. Adama Sallah.
nekkul ne dañ ko bàyyi si loo xam ne in the contract agreement that we have ñooñu dañ war a suñ ñëwee dañ leen war a accommodate in a hotel for 2 weeks. Digante bi, they should look for an accommodation for themselves, and we should help them to look for accommodation. That is what we agreed in the contractual agreement with them. And according to what I'm told in the beginning, because Manbo Nekaguma, the deputy chief medical director of the hospital, Mom arranged with the office for Amel Nyonyu in his apartment. And Big Guy Dike, he has said that Mom tourist season Mourinho and they use office those rooms. So Lumwara am tourist season we send $3,000 we because so they have to increase to 4,000. Because of that, they have to increase the fee. Those people's their accommodation fee to $4,000.
Why previously $3,000 loan?
Yes.
$3,000 per person per month or what?
Per person. No, per year.
Per year. Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Jagne, ma bëgg laa laaj rek ndax da nga musa am any personal issues yow yaa Dr. Adama Sallah am déet?
Comme nu ma la ko waxee rek man am a very humble poor boy from the village. I have no relationship with anybody in Gambia in this Combo St. Mary's. I came to this Combo St. Mary's when I was going to university. So I have no personal issue with anybody. And I will tell you, probably not because I'm talking about myself, but I will tell you that, man, I owe a lot to this country. You know why?
Why?
You've never seen me before. I sit on a wheelchair, and I have achieved everything that I've achieved in this my life because of the country I came from. Gambia, I'm very grateful to Gambia because I have never paid school fees before, from primary school until I finished university. And I went to postgrad. I did my medical school until I finished. I went to do my postgraduate training until I finished. I've never paid money before to school, and all because my country has given me its best. And I have nothing else to do but to give the best back to my country. And that is why I came back. And that is why I'm serving my country with all what I can. And unfortunately, Dumanangu, because whatever my country had given me is this big manual fee, and I allow people to come and use my country's resources at their will.
Kontaan naa ne you have revealed one side of Gambia loo xam ne baax na ñun ñu xam ko mooy ne Gambia provider na la sa education from primary level to university level. So this is one way of saying thank you to Gambia. This is one way of giving back to Gambia. Because a good citizen, loolu la war a def.
Jai, I will go further to tell you that I have traveled far and wide of this country, this world. I have not seen anybody in my position, in my state, having what I have achieved in my life. I'm 44 years old in this state. You know, when I went to study in Ghana, they were asking me, if you were in Ghana, they will not allow you to go to the medical school because of your condition. And that is just a stone throw from here. So imagine, I went to medical school. I didn't stop at medical school. I went to do my postgraduate. I've become a consultant at the age of 42 years. I think for me, that's enough. If anything, if the country, what the country has done for me is enough. That's enough for me to die for this country. I think it worth more than that.
Foog naa ne Gambia ni bu ndégeloo ne kontaan torop ne noonu nga xalaatee. Mr. Jagne, dafa am allegations yoo xam ne tamit Dr. Adama Sallah wax na ko. Ñu bugga rek nga defal ñu si leeral. Di te fii si Freedom Radio ñun ñëpp la ñooy jox chance su ñu ñëwee wax fi dara dinañ dem si keneen ki moom itam déggee si moom loolu mooy fair and balance. So pour ñu fair si yow dafa am allegation si Dr. Adama Sallah wax against you. Mu wax ne amoon na benn bés boo xam ne yaa ngi demoon Farafenni for 3 nights yow yaa yéena foreign consultants padi em yi nga xam ne moom leen la waroon a fay yow da nga request ne den war a fay ñooñu tamit padi em waaye not only that waaye padi em yi nga xam ne moom leen la fay ak yi nga claim ne moom leen war a fay ñële da nga wax ne ñu fay ko sa bank account. So Dr. Adama Sallah mu ne loolu was against the normal procedures. Loolu dafa illegal. Ma bëgg xam lan mooy sa reaction si li Dr. Sallah wax.
Okay, so I will give you an understanding of what happened on that particular reason, on that particular mission. You know that swing oxygen be then could in cylinders to cause patients, and that causes a lot of risk. Because there can be explosions, and even you said the data you're not sure when you can make it available. So then I'm on Global Fund, in fact they are still on it. So you want to pipe oxygen for the hospitals, and one of the hospitals we done the Carnifin Lopitan Carnifin B, Bundung Maternal Child Health, Buneka Bundung, Farafenni and Bansang. So there was a consultant assigned to assess those places. He's from Turkey. Apparently, mom degul lakabi, so he had to come with an interpreter. Bujogi from Tika, the Turkish their office in their embassy. So my driver, the interpreter, and the person from the Turkish embassy who were escort the engineer, we are 5 in number. Minyo under them from all these places. So for 3 days, for 3 nights, we went to assess these places for 3 nights. But amongst all of them, management driver, Nyoneka, hospital staff, the others are not hospital staff. So they will have to give them pay for them their per diem is not what they pay for night for them to have place to sleep overnight for 3 nights. It has all been stated in the letter that was written to the CMD before that thing was approved, and we spent the night in Bansang, Farafenni, for them to do the assessment of the place before we came back. So imagine, so what I give them the per diem. In fact, they paid us $1,000. They can answer per diem. They got $1,500, but $1,000 for a low and you pay. And then we had to buy fuel for the vehicle, which they put for $7,000. So from the transport that we travel from here, going to Farafenni, going to Bansang and coming back, they gave us $7,000. I'm sure your boy Banjul, but you know that Bansang to here, there are not many cars that boy drive all the way. If an SUV, you go Bansang, when you are them Farafenni, them Bansang, you are with $7,000. So I think you understand that maybe that fuel won't even be enough. But that is what we've been given. That's what we use to travel. So, but I don't know what is not the procedure in that. They've had an assignment and they're going to do the assignment. And the hospital was supposed to be responsible for them during that period. And they paid that money and we gave to them for their accommodation and for feeding for the period of time that we went there. And the documents are all in the hospital. I'm sure if they ask, if Professor or Dr. Sallah want to know, easy as he could ask for my pay slip, he could ask for those letters or those documents to prove, or even call the institution, the people that came with us. Some of them are in the country, at least from the ticker office, they are here. The people that came from outside also, their contacts are available in the hospital. You could call them and find out from them what happened. Or even call the CEOs of those hospitals that we went to. Farafenye, Bansang, Kanifing, and Bundo.
Padi so yi nga xamne mom len la feyon pour ñetti fan yoyu nga xamne mom nga fanaan Farafenye yow ya consultant yi. Padi so yu si ban account len ko fay?
No, during the pay account, it's a check they give you. Check like my job. My unit driver, in fact, I didn't even keep the money because, of course, that money is because the night we spent in Bansang, every room, there are two double rooms. Each of the rooms they charge those 2,500 per night. So we are 5 in number, Benaji and Sinyon. So we have to stay at two rooms, and then another room we gave to the lady. So even that the night we spent in Bansang, we're charging every night being for them the 7,500 then you don't charge. That is for three rooms.
So check len la fayun halis bi sa bank account?
No.
So you been fay check bi nga kasse check bi yow ñata nga jox gaay?
Man comme everybody lowly sa entitlement low lañ la jox. Like see number of people that are in jox len ku nekk sa boss.
Li Dr. Sallah wax ne ñooñu they were not government employees te waroon woon leen a fay anything. Lan mooy sa reaction si loolu?
Well, they are not government employees, but they are on government assignment. So ñun ñoo leen war a responsible for that period. In fact, we haven't even paid for that assessment. The assessment was mainly on gratis. They are coming to help us to assess the need for oxygen for those places. And in fact, because that same company, you sample oxygen from Tika. That is the Turkish their charity organization. You sample oxygen in Demban. Then I plant you sample. So this process of helping us to assess for the need for oxygen piping was done on gratis. And so imagine we don't have this in the country. They are here to help us to assess the need for oxygen. And you are taking them all the way from here to Bansang, to Farafenye to Bansang. And who should be responsible for that person? Those people, so that be also left to them to do.
Muhammad lenen lo xamne Dr. Adama Sallah wax nako ma buga se am leral mune liko dore 12th of September 2022 ba on the 29th of September 2023 yangi jël e padi bu tolok $739,839 and 80 bututs mune padi MC they are too high. Ba pare mune tukki yoyu ngay don tukki pour muna am padi MC mune fa nekkon tukki yo xamne board bi authorize ko. Ma buga xam rek lan moy sa reaction ci li Dr. Adama Sallah wax.
Okay. Mr. Njie, so I will tell you that the board didn't approve ministers and picking in the hospital. That is not part of the hospital's policy. The CMD, the Chief Medical Director, they approve anybody's travel. So it's not even no travel of any individual goes to the board. If you want, I'll send you the GO or the how do you call it, the Hospital Act.
bon yow saay boo buggee tukki rek wala CMD Al Jafari ku si bugg a tukki rek waru leen a contact board bi du seen liggéey pour yéen ngeen contact leen so yéen mu ngeen a jóg rek travel bu necessary without board bi ñu xam ko. Is that right?
Yes, because it is right because it's an operational activities are not for the board. The board is for policy. The hospital board is for policy. If my nurse is supposed to go for training elsewhere, I don't need a board to approve that. If my doctor is supposed to travel to anywhere, I don't need a board to approve that. I just need to be able to find out how, or the CMD has to find out how how important that is to the operational activities of the hospital. And if the funds are available, there are procedures that is done. A letter is written to the CMD, he approves it together with the management, and it is sent to the finance, and finance supports it. And a check is written by the GO, how the rates are, what the person's travel responsibilities and cost time is, and the person is paid.
Lan moy sa tontu si li nga xamne mom la Dr. Adama Sallah wax ne padi em si nga xamne mom len la daan fay di were too high dafa nek padi em su ser yo xamne warun ko fay any chief deputy medical director.
So PDMC, Mr. Njie, I'm sure the accountant general will tell you that there is a fixed rate for everybody at any level that you find yourself, by your pay scale. So I am not even there to decide on that. It is a written document that is there that could be able to tell you key plus sangam la hold and grade sangam la hold by salary and fitiki night bu nek li lañ ko wara fay. I don't even have that off head. I don't even need to decide that. It's a matter of just saying they approve the more of the plus sangam for this number of days, and that the people in the finance have a document that will a policy that is there to tell them, just like every civil servant in the country.
Dr. Adama Sallah dali waxaat ne travel su bari dang ko daan def di dem Ghana. Te mu ne sa tukki yi daan tukki dem Ghana doo ko daan yëgal board bi authorize ko yow yaa daan topp rek dem mu ne ki ooyee Mrs. Monde moom mi nga xam ne moom moo nekk si revenue bi si seen accounts office bi mu ne many times Mrs. Monde confront na la di la laaj ni te Mrs. Monde dafa feel ne tukki yu bari yi nga tukki equipment si nga jënda board bi authorize ko board bi approve ko ma bëgg a xam lan mooy sa tontu si lii.
Okay. Anyway, you see, again, I don't want to say things. They probably are not right because I'm quite, as I said, humility will not allow me to say certain things. But I know that when I Mrs. Monday, Musunyo discuss anything related to my travels, and man maneke chief medical director belegi nyari yon la tuki to Ghana. Bena mangde mo suma graduation. For my fellowship graduation. I went on a WHO assignment to discuss about vaccine safety. As you may know, Manmaneka, the chairman of the vaccine safety committee for the country. So I've been called to a meeting for Vladimir in Ghana. So that meeting was held in Accra, and all this were approved by the chief medical director, which is my line manager, and I don't remember anything anywhere ever before that I have any discussion with Mrs. Monday or any query from Mrs. Monday. Mrs. Monday is was the internal auditor. So whatever travel I was going, if really I was going to travel on the hospital's travel, the only thing that Mrs. Monday could do was to approve whatever travel payment they're supposed to pay would have gone through her. But I have not seen anywhere before or any time before that she had ever complained. And I think these are all official missions I've been to. I mean, it's a part and parcel of the program that anybody who finishes a program that is sponsored by, of course, the the government to go and do this program. That was approved for me to go and attend my graduation. So, and of course, going for the vaccine safety, representing Gambia for that one too, I thought that was really not out of place. And I don't see why I don't see in any way that was supposed to be discussed in the board.
Dr. Adama Sallah mu ne fa am ay machine yu seer yoo xam ne dang daan dem jënd ko ki nga xam ne mooy CMD Dr. Amar Al Jafari dal di ko approve mu ne loolu waruta am equipment si ngeen war a jënda lépp loo xam ne war ngeen ko jëndal lopitaan bi board bi war neen see xam dara mu ne normal procedure bi mooy su fekkee ne fa am machine yoo leen war a jënda pour lopitaan bi wala lépp loo xam ne li war ngeen ko jënda pour lopitaan bi mu ne 3 invoices ñetti invoices moom ngeen war a indi si contact center bi su ko defee procurement officer si loolu mooy seen liggéey ñoom ñu seet ban moo gën a yomba ak fan nañ ko war a jëndee ñoom ñu dem jëndi ko waaye loolu nekkut sa liggéey yow wala CMD Amar Al Jafari waaye mu ne normally yow da ngaa tub rek dem jëndi machine yu seer a seer dal di indi su ko defee CMD Al Jafari dal di ko approve ma bëgg a xam rek lan mooy sa reaction si li nga xam ne moom la Mr. Adama Sallah wax.
Yeah, so for me, this is very surprising because the board has never been responsible for buying any equipment for the hospital before. And I am sure that anybody who knows policy will know that no board is responsible for buying of things for the hospital. There's a contract committee in the hospital that is responsible for buying anything that the hospital needs. As I said, buying things for the hospital is an operational arrangement. As he said rightly, the procurement officer is more responsible. And of course, everything that we are buying for the hospital.
The board should be notified. Well, it
depends on. I am not aware of that. I've never been told before that Balanyo Jenda Bagas. In the past, it has never been the policy of the hospital before that. Then you are agenda machine sangam, and I don't even remember which machine more to my agenda man, because all the machines you gendon. I think the most expensive machine buñ musa agenda of free go xam ne l'hôpital ñoko agenda was costing $1.5 million. Was UPS la one, and that one was approved by GPPA, and of course all the process have been done just to be sure that machine new indico in the country was from Senegal. We had to go there and make sure that the items were brought. They wanted then we go on new say Nico in there and arrange for it to be transported from Senegal to be brought. I drive that time I used to have a double cabin Land Cruiser. That was my official car. So in Senegal, I made sure that they put it at the back of my car. I brought it myself to make sure that and brought it down to the hospital. And low like they use currently. And previous times that we hospital bought things that are more expensive than that. I have never been told before that was supposed to be brought to the board. Never. It never happened before. As long as the contract committee agrees, it goes to GPPA, which is supposed to be the procurement regulatory body. Whatever needs to be done is done between. These are all operational activities of the hospital. The board has little or nothing to do with buying of things. That's contract committee that's able to do that, and the hospital has that.
Is it a required procedure pour l'hôpital be inform the board su fekkee ne fa machine yun bëgg a jënd?
It may be just because a board is a policy body, and whatever process that is going on, the CMD should be briefing the board about the process, things that are going on in the hospital. Should update the board about the things that are going on in the hospital. But it's not a condition, balanga agenda that you need to go and inform the board. No. But of course, it makes all the sense if there is the policy making body of the hospital, lower depth in the hospital, you should be able to ask the board. You should be able to update the board about the process of the update about the activities of the hospital.
Equipment si nga xam ne tàmma ngeen di ko jënd pour lopitaan bi bagage yooyu nga xam ne yow yaa leen jënd ndax di nga daan contact center bi ndax di nga daan contact procurement officer si
man musuma jënd any equipment for the hospital. The hospital has a contract committee. Lu ñu war a jënd ñoom ñoo war a assign lii dañ ko war a discuss balaa xaalis bi balaa ngay fay o balaa ngay decide sa lii ngay jënda. There is a contract committee or contract officer lu ñu or a procurement officer kooku mooy def all the paperwork, and the paperwork will go to the contract committee. The contract committee ñooy approve na di la ñoo jënda. And as a head of institution, your responsibility is to execute what the committee's wishes are. And every member of that contract committee will have to sign on that document, Baranyo Gender. And on that document, there's no board member on that document to sign. It's only the contract committee members, and most of those people are either the members of the hospital operations, like the people who do the day-to-day heads of departments and units, and the management members. ñoom rek ñoo bokk ci contract committee boobu noonu.
Dr. Adama Sallah wax na ne am na sa benn trip boo xam ne Ghana danga ne woon dangaa dem pour jëndali lopitaan bi ay bagages waaye nga dal di demand ne xaalis bi neen ko fay si benn bank account bu nekk Ghana ñoom ñu ngi jàppoon ne bank account boobu mooy bank account ni company bi nga xam ne yow foofu nga jëndee bagages yi waaye mu ne ban demee ba si digga ñu dal di gis ne bank account boobu du bank account company bi nga xam ne fa la ñuy jëndee bagages yi waaye sa own personal bank account boo am bu nekk Ghana la nite musoon nga dikka Ghana time ba nga study te loolu mu ne is a breach of the policies ma bugg a xam lan mooy sa tontu si lii.
Okay, yeah, so let me also give you a perspective to this. I told you that I'm not small graduation in Ghana, and that was newly being appointed as CMD and Deputy CMD of the hospital. And then we gonna accreditation for Department of Medicine, or internal medicine. And bagasi sohla bima age Ghana ñu xamne bagasi ñu wara indi for the accreditation, most of them amuñ ko fi. Like mënuñ ko jëndé fi. So this wasn't even something loo xam ne it was planned, but bi ma fa nekkee ñu ne ma kon ma check si sob si yi fa nekk ndax mun nañoo am yooyu bagage. It wasn't because dañ ma yónnee xaalis, it was because dama fay suma xaalis bi ñu ma fay for my travel, and dama am comme ni because as you already said, man, I stayed in Ghana for that long. Am na ñoo xam ne óolu nañ ma pour dimbale ma pour fayal ma bagage yooyu. I will tell you that some of them we haven't even paid until today because Lopitan didn't have the money to pay them. But we just to make sure that accreditation we held up, because that was an important event for the postgraduate program. Bagage yooyu, they are not available in the country. Biñ leen jëndee ñu fly ko by air the next day. Fekk man ñëwaguma sa de. They came down the country, and we were trying to pay that up gradually to pay to those people because ñooñu nekkul ne benn bitik lañ ko jëndee comme ni liñ dee cege somebody presume somebody scale bu ñu dee wéyee nit ñi da nga xam ne Banjul fii there's no place boo xam ne mun ngaa jënd loolu fii. And it was 3 days for us to get the accreditation done. Our suñ collègue yi jógee Nigeria ñenn ñi they have to send to Nigeria pour ñu indi leen yeneen bagages yi. So some of those bagages foofu lañ ko jëndee. And when I came back, the next day was when the accreditation team came from Nigeria to assess us. Thank God they gave us accreditation because most of those things, and all the while, I made sure that all bagages in the Nenko, and they are all been approved by the people who have the new Kora. This Nenko, they are all here. They are signed in the store. They are not even many. They are small things like screen. So examine it. Keep Lord def pour mu nekk sa digante ak mom there's patella hammer. I'm not sure how to explain that to you. When they use to examine it, law examine, because these are things that they will have to take you. It's passed. You are qualified to train doctor. So I thought this was the thing, and that was what we did. So my friend in Ghana he paid for it, and they will have to refund the person, because Kokomo jail halis and I didn't have even that money, because I just went for graduation. Because of that, I didn't attend my graduation dinner. Even my certificate, I left it in Ghana because I didn't have time to go and to get those things. But this was because I wanted that thing to succeed. But it wasn't because the Mayone Halis we didn't even know that we will need that definitely on that day, and we will not have it in the country, and I have to go there, and I was there to make sure that was available.
Mu amaat leneen lu xew Dr. Adama Sallah mu ne amoon na benn jamono joo xam ne danga waxoon ne nga dem Ghana pour jënda theatre beds ak theatre lamps, maanaam lali lopitaan ak lampa pour lopitaan di Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. waaye mu ne lii nekkut sa liggéey. Normally su fekkee ne da ngeen soxla dara war ngeen a dem indi invoice, comme ni ma ko waxee woon rek, dem si contact center bi ñoom ñooy decide ba pare dal di jox liggéey bi procurement officer si ñoom ñu initiate transaction yi pour jënda bagage yooyu rather than yow ngay koo def. waaye mu ne benn si sa trip yi Ghana bi nga waxee ne nga jënd ak theatre bed si ak theatre lamp si dem nga jënda ko waaye indiwuloo receipt bantay gaa jotoon receipt si xamul fan nga dugal xaalis bi te CMD Dr. Amar Al Jafari xam na si dara. ma bëgg a xam rek lan mooy sa tontu si lii.
Okay, so let me also tell you that comme nu ma la ko waxee rek lopitaan dëkk bi mooy suma concern. Then there was a time also the trip ba ma demoon in for the vaccine safety program. I got a call from the hospital. Lamp bu nekk si theatre bi dafa amoon problem, and sometimes you operate the telephone line they use to set nit ñi pour mun a operate, because su lamp fee the light is not telephone lamp yi leen they use. So I spoke to a friend of mine. You'll be surprised that I think Dr. Sallah hasn't done his homework, because Lopitan failing transfer for that light. Transfer Lopitan dugu si lampa bobu nonu. Man mako enu from Ghana to here, and costed me $1,500 to transport to this place. Theater bed, man, I don't know what he's talking about. Musuma in the theater bed. Lampa la in the suma harit momo ko jot. Man mako enu all the way from Ghana in the community Monica the labor board. Lopitan and failing transfer for that light. It is installed small product now. I'll send you a picture of it on my phone. I'll share it with you. It's brand new at a zero hour usage. So soon as John Mahalis bobu nonu joy ma receipt nala wax ban check lañ ma jox or ban account lañ ko transfer, because I am not aware of any payment done related to that.
Lan mooy li nga xam ne mooy li xew amoon na jamono joo xam ne yéen a ngi indi benn Moroccan technicien si lopitaan bi pour mu liggéeyal leen yéena yi si machine si. Lan mooy li xewoon ba ngeen indi Moroccan boobu ak ñaata ngeen ko fay?
Okay, so to start with fair with ñooñu. Okay. So dañ amoon a CT scan bu fi nekkoon 4 years ago lañ ñu ko donate, and biñ ko indi for 4 years mënuñ ko fix because and dañu ko may, it's not new, second hand la, but dañ tube es lañ fa def. One of our colleagues moo ñu dimbale connection contact with somebody ko dimbale ñu indil ñu the may ñu CT scan boobu noonu. It's a 4-slide CT scan, and CT scan bi mu fi moom Dr. Sallah si boppam foog naa mus naa lijjante ku moo indi from GE mooy company bu moom plan that would sampa that CT scan bi ñu ko defar GE electronic GE company moom sax mus naa contact ñooñu noonu apparently kum contact kooku mujjewut a ñëw and they had also arrangements for somebody in Senegal ku war a ñëw but ñooñu they are not GE company so mënuñoo def liggéey bi. Then somebody from Morocco, from the company GE, ñëw fii on a visit of the site. One of benn swing engineer man xawma leen sax man I've never met them before moo leen arrangeal pour ñu dimbale ñu pour ñu fixal ñu machine bi ñu ne leen ne de su come and fix the machine su jeexalee su paree ñu fay leen. They came first ñu assess biñ assessé jox ñu ne 4 parts pour the machine yoo xam ne because machine mu ngi tegu for 4 years usuñ ko. So they are not working, they don't want to change. Then when we wrote the letter and then they came back for the second time to install, they found out that at the 5th one, part you get a machine, they are all in the hospital. And as we speak, Lopitano government fair with you send Halis. So I don't know where that information is coming from, that they lend fair Halis. They have not been paid until as we speak, they have not been paid. In fact, they had threatened at some time, they told the engineer that and that machine is the only CT scan we have in the hospital. In fact, if that gets before that machine, then they ambulance all the way to Abuko, CT scan. So now that's the machine. It's been here, it's almost going to 1 year or 1 year some months. We haven't paid them.
Yaa ngi miin Moroccan bi machine bi nga xam ne Moroccan bi ñaata ngeen ko fee ndikte Dr. Adama Sallah wax na a very huge amount of money ne Moroccan bi ne moom ngeen ko war a fay yow si li nga mën a fàttale ko ñaata ngeen feyoon Moroccan bi bim ñëwee Gambia.
Fayaguñ leen man fayaguñ leen we haven't given them even dalasi joxaguñ leen we haven't paid them anything.
mu amaat loo xam ne Dr. Adama Sallah wax na ko ma bugg a xam rek lan moo ci sa réaction ndikte mu ngi wax ne kii di ministre Dr. Samate moo fa indi CMD Dr. Amar Al Jafari Dr. Adama Sallah mu ne CMD Al Jafari amul benn xam-xam pour nekk CMD moom radiologist rek la Dr. Samate di ministre Dr. Samate moo fa indi Al Jafari bi nga xamee ne Al Jafari ñëw na Al Jafari moo la fa indi yow waaye mu ne dafa mel ni CMD Amar Al Jafari ak yow Dr. Abubacarr Jagne ak finance minister Lamin Cissé ak ki nga xam ne mooy operations officer Adama Mbay ak ki nga xam ne moom mooy senior procurement officer di Ñima Jaata ak benn waaju ñu ooye Baboucarr dafa fàtte santaam mu ne dafa mel ni yéen you work as a syndicate in the hospital maanaam dañ leen fa implant mooy minister of health Dr. Samate pour ngeen nekkay luubal xaalis lopitaan bi ma bugg a xam lan moo ci sa tontu.
Okay, I will as I said being commencé interview bi lu ma la doon wax I will make sure that wax bi dinañ ko waxtaan bi jeexal si duma wax loo xam ne du jaadu yoon because mag ngay nekk di wax nii and that Adama Sallah is qualified to be my father because doomam maanaam moom ñoo xëy na the same age but I will tell you that Lee is a wrong allegation because the Minister of Health Kumaham mooy Dr. Samate I knew him when I was a medical student. One of the most honest people that I know. I look up to him because Bima done them to study and all the time Bima done study. I saw him as like a role model because minister la ko ham. This is somebody ko hamne he struggled to get where he was to become a consultant. He was working in a very difficult situation in Ghana where I was. I was a Guinea resident. And his honesty and dedication to work, people there valued him so much. And I'm sure the people that you are mentioning here, some of them they need financial opportunity sometimes because they will have to come and make sure that the oxygen they will come and sit down and make sure that the oxygen is available. They leave all from their houses to come and sit there. To call those people a syndicate, I think that would be a very, very wrong nomenclature. For a senior doctor like Dr. Sallah, and for supposedly the chairman of the board, the policy process of the hospital, I think that would be a very, very bad statement to make. For me, I know that the policy for employing the CMD lies in the hands of the president and to be guided by the Minister of Health. And as far as I know, that's what I know. And if Dr. Al-Jafari is a radiologist, I am a nephrologist, I'm specialized in kidney. Dr. Al-Jafari is a radiologist, meaning his response is specialized in images like X-ray, CT scan, MRI. In being a doctor, you have very, very different specialties. Come Adama Sallah is specialized in children. So I don't see why that would be a problem that somebody is specialized in radiology. CMD. I think sa ham ak sa katan ak sa experience moy tax ñu la tana def la fu la wara tana. I don't think it has to do with the specialty being a janga or specialty being a janga. So for me, I was just called that I was appointed to deputize for him, and from then until today I've been serving not him but serving the country with the dedication that I think I could.
Ma buga la laaj rek ndikte Dr. Adama Sallah wax nako mu ne Dr. Al-Jafari di CMD moom mooy kilafa indi lan moo nekk sa diggante Dr. Al-Jafari di CMD ba tax mu indi la si lopitaan bi?
Nekkul ne dama indi si lopitaan man maa nekkoon deputy head of department for internal medicine bi ma balaa maa ñëw nekk de deputy chief medical director. So nekkul ne dama indi si lopitaan bi. I was working in the hospital. Man ma graduated from medical school ba léegi lopitaan bi laa doon liggéey. So I have no special relationship with him. And then to be very surprised, former Dr. Sallah was chairman of the board, and my position was taken to the board, and board more approved for my appointment. It's not Dr. Ajafari Moma appoint as a CMD. The CMD position is appointed by the board. The deputy CMD position is appointed by the board, as the CMD position is appointed by the president.
Melni Dr. Adama Sallah bokana signi la approve pour nga nekk di deputy chief of medical director. Is that correct?
Wow, correct.
Lan nga ñu mëna wax ci kii di Adama Mbaye moom mi nga xam ne moom mooy di operations officer kana ko fa indi?
Adama is I saw Angaman. I've not been in the country for all the while, and I'm sure you already mentioned that I was in Ghana. So Adama Monica is operation manager, because operation manager Momora made sure that all the day-to-day running of the hospital is done. To make sure that they connect caregivers to service providers to managers. Lots of Larek, and it's not Adama Mbaye alone. It's a team of operation officers. Lopitan is a clinical area. You know that using Sohla Idenbury. So it's an entire team. So nekune mom kena. Comme ni so hene yang EDMC medical department. You have, of course, doctors. You have nurses there. This is a whole department of its own. So he is employed as an operation officer. I do remember some years ago, at the store, I just found out that she's been moved from there to become operation manager. But being the operation manager, I was not in the country. I cannot be able to explain how he became an operation manager.
Lan moy sa tontu si li nga xamne mom la Dr. Adama Sallah dal di wax mu ne senior procurement officer bi di ñima jaata mu ne office bobu is unauthorized by the board waaye nang ko create lan moy sa tontu.
So but appointment of such, I'm surprised of hearing that too, because appointment bu melni lolu lo xamne advertise nañ ko. This two people applied, I remember. They were interviewed, and the appointment letters were given to them, to this particular person, through the board. So soon as Dr. Sallah Lulu, I would be very surprised. How would we have given such an appointment, that position? I'm sure if you are very familiar with the government service, they position manpower budget. And every position bu ñu wara joxe so amute manpower budget it has to be approved by the PMO. They have to put that in the budget. Ne du place sangam mu nañ ko jox ko xamne qualify na pour liggéey sangam. So that position couldn't have been given to that lady without having that in the manpower budget, and it couldn't have been given an appointment letter without going through the board, because that is a grade 10 position. So that cannot be without going through the board. So I am surprised of hearing this, and I'm aware that that position was advertised, it was approved and advertised. They had an interview for the people that were interested, that applied, and appointment letters were given to them. So I would be surprised to hear that. But as I said, I don't want to say anything that will make me disrespectful. But I think I am really surprised that I am hearing such statements. And I think, to be very fair to the hospital or to the hospital management, it will be so irresponsible for a board chairman. He is not aware that somebody has been appointed for almost going to 2 years. And it is only now that he are now complaining about that. How many board meetings were done? How many activities were done? And in fact, this board chairman is one board chairman in every committee in the hospital. Committee so I don't know how he wouldn't have realized that until now. So to be very honest with you, it's a surprise.
Lan moy sa reaction si li Dr. Adama Sallah wax ne Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital is engaged in serious financial mismanagement, corruption. Manam dafa melni Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital management bi is a crime syndicate. Yow lan moy sa tontu si lolu?
Yeah, so I will just tell him that Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital management is a crime syndicate. Then the policy is drafted by Professor or Dr. Adama Sallah, because he is the chairman of the board. And mom chairman of the board in the jaay lopitaan bi I screen for $110 in dollars. Muy ne jëli staff in lopitaan diko indi ci hotel am di len overcharge di ñindi domam ne by force dañ ko wara jox place sangam fekk qualified for now yoy moy that is more of a criminal activity than anything else, I think, in my small mind.
As far as you know, Mr. Jagne, yéen mi liggéey Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital mun nga confirm on Freedom Radio ne yéen involve leen si any form of financial mismanagement and corruption?
I will tell you, for me, it's to serve my country. That's what brought me into this. And if there is anything that is maybe going through Dr. Salah's mind, is maybe they my employee and suddenly they've got you because defuma loolu mooy ne ma ko jàppale def lu mu continuer di def lu mu war a def di indi can you imagine ambulance yi Lamtoro def ko de rent to the hospital for $8,000 per day. Can you imagine that? Can you Mr. Njie, can you imagine a board chairman we rent ambulance to the hospital? Loo xam ne yow yaa fa njiit yow yaa fa war a def policy nga la rent ambulance $7,000 pour ambulance bi for the driver tamit nga charge leen $1,000 daily. I think that is, for me, corruption war a commencer. And I will tell you, I will share documents with you as soon as we finish this conversation.
Wow. Dr. Sallah sax wax na mbiri ambulance boobu mu ne ambulance boobu leen lopitaanam bi moo ko moom Lamtoro clinic moo ko moom mu ne bi nga xamee ne soxla ngeen ambulance ngeen contact ko moom mu hire leen ambulance bi ba pare defal leen si driver dina ngi waroon a fay driver bi $1,000 a day mu ne up to this date fayu leen ko ambulance bi mu leen luye ba pare fayu leen driver mi on top of that sax mu ne amoon na ay bagages yoo xam ne daf leen ko jaayoon daf leen wàññil jaay leen ko waaye up to this date fayu leen ko almost $5,000 Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital yéen ko ameel waaye fayagu leen ko ma bëgg a xam rek lan mooy sa réaction si li nga xam ne moom la Dr. Sallah wax.
Okay, so Njie, so just to prove to you that ne ko xam ne muy wax ne things been right. Xanaa ambulance boobu noonu foog naa su ne even bus drivers in the country yoo xam ne dañoo dem or cross country drivers duñ leen dee fay $1,000 per day foog naa ko. And I foog naa tamit de ñoo lu munta mel diggante fii ba lopitaan koo xam ne foofu nga war a joxe sa all su ne mënuloo abal lopitaan bi for free. I don't think you should be charging the hospital $7,000 per day for ambulance. I thought it would have been, oh no, lopitaan bi they soxla ambulance for a number of days. Xama abalen sama ambulance bi ñu fuyal ko ma jox leen suñ munte am driver ma abal leen driver. But I think that is a conflict of interest. I think Njie, you would have asked him ndax moom bi mu doon def loolu xamut ne loolu wasn't operationally and policy wise and procedure wise was wrong.
Why, even though it may seem that it is a conflict of interest, wow, loolu moom am ñu bari mun nañ koo gisee noonu waaye ndax yéen ñi liggéey si lopitaan bi mënul leen woon a gis loolu ne lii could be a conflict of interest ba tax ngeen avoid ko dem uti ambulance feneen lu tax defu leen loola.
So the thing is that comme nu ma la ko waxee I think I am not one of those that you agree to that process, and I'm not musuma ko call di ko laajte either bagas la or gender, and I think that it's not from the management. It's not management ñoo requestal lolu. I think mo si bopam mom mo arrange lolu nono because man am na request from the hospital not produce lolu document bi won la no hospital ñoko binda request in this ambulance because the hospital has a policy bo xamne bagas or every unit bo xamne soxla na something dañoo binda a request, and that as he rightly told you they will send that to procurement. Yeah, manela sune amna any request bu wone ne l'hôpital ñoko request salon ambulance ambi or bagas you mo wax ni as a chairman of the board ku wara xam procedures of the hospital nala won the request of that letter of that request linge or CRV request pour one new request for his own ambulance ambi nako share. At least that will help you to know that in your request. I will tell you that it is because people like him want to make the hospital as a money-making venture and have your own business somewhere, and you want to use the hospital for it. And man, unfortunately, I will not be one of those that will buy to that idea.
Lan nga ñu mëna wax ci contract bi ngeen joxoon benn Syrian pour mu renovate the X-ray unit ak yeneen place in the rural country di te dégga neen ne contract boobu ngeen jox Syrian bi bantee parewut lan mooy li xew?
Okay, so man bokkuma ci contract boobu noonu. The only benefit we have from there mooy benn ci X-ray mu ngi ñëw Banjul, and Banjul is having one of the X-ray, the rooms are prepared for in Banjul. So, man, I'm not part of that contract committee. That contract is from PCU. Lolu, I can't be able to tell. We are in a hurry for the place to be ready. I hope it should be ready by now. The machine didn't correct in the fixed land because there are 5 sites, I'm told. So, but we, as the hospital, is not. No hospital contract. The contract is not to the hospital. As you may know, the hospital is one hospital, and we cannot give a contract to Kenam with them at other hospitals.
Dr. Jagne, ma bëgg xam rek lan mooy li ngeen bëggoon ba tax World Bank dal di ñëw ne dinañ ko finance di te dégg neen about 27 million boo xam ne World Bank am na lu war a finance si Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. Lan nga ñu si mën a wax?
World Bank doing what as finance at Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. I am not aware of. All I know is that the World Bank is supporting the Postgraduate Program. Ñom ñoo nekk di fay teachers yi seen salary. Ñom ñooy fay seen accommodation and transport. ñu dee jàngale. And the students going to some of the students who are ñoo xam ne seen programme is not in the country. ñoom ñoo leen a fayal. ñoom ñoo tamit build a place for children, pediatrics. Xale yi ñoo xam ne mutuñ o ñoo xam ne they are less than 28 days old luñ dee ooy NICU mooy neonatal intensive care ñoom ñoo ko nekk di build. And that is also not from the hospital, it's through the project coordination unit. ñoom ñoo amee that project. So ñun we are just at the receiving end of the project.
am na loo xam ne mus naa xew CMD Dr. Al Jafari demoon na Syria bam demee Syria yónnee woon ngeen ko xaalis bu bari mu ne fa am ay machine yu moo jënda waaye indi woon machine si lan nga ñu su mun a wax lii lu am la am déet te su fekkee ne CMD dafa dem beneen dëkka officially pour jënd ay machine indil ko lopitaan bi dafa war a def loolu waaye su fekkee ne nag du official visit private visit la mu dem holiday lopitaan bi di ko war a yónnee xaalis loolu is another thing. Ma bëgg a xam ndax lu mel ni mus naa am déet.
So I think the CMD will be in the right position to answer this question, but I'll tell you that for me, I like to be very principled with issues, and I think that luma xam la mëna wax, and if ne jox nañ CMD xaalis sum jënd ay bagages, I'm not privy to it because loolu du mëna jaar sama loxo because man I'm junior to CMD. Unless I'm gonna CMD do wara ñëw ci man pour ma approve anything lum soxla or lum wara def. So I am not privy to that. And if that had gone through, if something like that had happened and it's going through contract, or as I said, I'm a member of the contract committee, I've never sat in a meeting to discuss Lulu before. I'm not aware. So that may be, the CMD will be the right person to answer that, but I am not aware of this.
Dr. Jagne, ma jox la rek the opportunity pour nga react si li nga xam ne moom la Dr. Adama Sallah wax. Dr. Adama Sallah mu ne Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital is corrupt to the core. Ma bëgg la jox opportunity pour nga react pour Gambian si mun a xam li xew. Claim si nga xam ne moom la Dr. Adama Sallah wax dëgg la ndax du dëgg.
So I have answered, I think, every question board on like concerning me, that whatever verification I have told you. I am not aware of any unusual activity in the hospital, much more corruption. I am only a deputy chief medical director, and I'm there to serve the people's interests, and that is what put me there. I am not, if the board chairman for the past, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I want to listen, yes.
No, I'm
saying that if the board chairman, for the past 16 years, more than the hospital is corrupt, then he has a contribution to that. Maybe he should really want to explain that, because most of the time I'm expiring a long time ago. I think it's in a serious place. Anybody who is consent guided, you would have asked for a renewal of your contract or your terms for the number of years that you've been there. And of course, if you think that the hospital is this corrupt and it's under your watch, I thought it would have been a shame for you to have put that in the public. You should fix the problem internally. But if you are not doing that, then I wonder why you are the chair.
Mabuga la lajar rek Dr. Jagne, allowances yu bari yi nga xamne mom len la dé fay li dañ la ko defal yow pour favor la ndax li dafa nekk a normal procedure bo xamne keneen kudu Dr. Jagne su fa nekkee sax loolu leen koy fay di te allowances yu bari nen torop lan mooy sa réaction si lii?
So that is the salary for the hospital. Then a salary scheme for the hospital, and the board ñoo koy approve. Before man may nekk deputy CMD, some keneen moo fa nekkoon, and liñ ma fay loolu lañ defee kooku. And bi ma jëlee place boobu ba léegi mosu ñoo yokk any salaries to my salary, and as I told you musuma xam sax allowance sangam lañ ma defee allowance sangam luñ ma jox from the day I took up that office until today. Musuma duma la wax, I've never even asked for my pay slip pour am ñaata lañ ma defee ak ñaata lañ ma dul fay. So man I cannot decide sa lan lañ ma fay. The hospital has a what they call electronic HR system. Finance mënuñoo decide ñaata la nit war a fay. HR and admin ñoom ñoo war a decide salary di sangam nii la war a mel, and it goes to finance fay la, and they pay to your bank. So there's no way, I don't think anybody can manipulate your own salary. Even the CMD, I'm not sure he can manipulate his salary. So liñ ma fay loolu lañ ma war a fay. And as I told you in the last time you spoke with me, if I were in another country, I'm sure my salary would have been, even in the sub-region, would have been 5 or 10 times more than what I've been paid today. So that is not unusual. It's not outrageous. So I'm sure that if you want, you can probably go back and find out from other people in this sub-region who are in positions that look like my own, even as just ordinary consultants, their salary, then you will know that this is so much an underpaid job.
Dr. Adama Sallah mu ne padi em yi nga xam ne moom leen la dee fay dafa nekk lu high, it is extremely high. Ma bëgg a xam rek su fekkee ne padi em yi la dee fay dafa high, lan nga foog ne mooy di normal padi em lu la waroon a fay te fayun la ko?
As far as I know, I think $200, like £200 when they pay per night. And the number of days border death, if you are out of the country. If you are in the country for $1,000, $1,000, they get a low $2,000, $1,500. It's only lately la hamne low la sa $1,000 len you fay on biñ them to Bansang. Outside the country, £200 la per night. So as far as I know, that's what I know, and I think that is what that's the rate they used to pay for per diem. So you could do the maths yourself and see that what they are paying me is more than what they're supposed to pay.
Lan mooy sa xalaat si within a period of 1 year ñu ngi la fay almost $800,000. Ndax dafa am luñ si yokka luñ si warutoon a yokka, ndax den si boole lu si warutoon a bokka, ndax den inflate the amount or not. Ndite $800,000 is a huge amount of money. Te Dr. Sallah wax na ne tukki yooyu ngay daan dem, it is not authorized, it was not approved by the board. Lan mooy sa reaction?
So I will go back to tell you that we don't need a board approval. And all the travel Jumat def were approved by the CMD, and they were all sanctioned by the CMD. Secondly, musuñ ma fay lo xamne opana luñ ma wara fay. That is up to $800,000 for the 2 years that I've been in this position. I am not sure about, I've not even counted, but I know that they only pay me the number of days that I've been out of the country. My travel to Senegal, I went by land. I didn't go by air. So always smile them. Then they just my driver before bumo jail yubuma and indima, and we are all both paid our per diem for us to go, me and the driver. So, and I am not aware of any. Of course, there is no reason why I'll be paid any special or any different per diem. And maybe you should ask Dr. Adama Sallah, Binko Yobuan, Bimdemon, visit Bimdemon, Liberia, Lahoma, or Senegal, the Lopitan and the Kofel per diem, was that right in the first place? Because from Lola said that if a Lopitan one on your fair board chairman per diem because he want to go and visit sites where the postgraduate sites, or Mudem Utim Bagas, that Lulu is right, Lulu Warna Am. Lulu would have been the right question to ask. You know, if you live in glass houses, you don't throw stones. Because mom, you are a board member, board chairman, and every committee in the hospital, you post yourself, then your face sitting allowance, so Lulu is, I don't know how to explain this further without being disrespectful, but I'm surprised this can come from him. But I know that every travel that I went was sanctioned by the hospital management head, which is the CMD, and I have not been paid more than I'm supposed to be paid for the period of for the travel that I went to travel for.
Lolu dina ko laaj Dr. Sallah. Ma buga xam rek Dr. Jagne. Bi ngeen déggee révélation si nga xam ne wala allégation si nga xam ne moom la Dr. Adama Sallah wax, what was the mood in the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital?
Well, not the mood. I will not be able to get the mood of the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital because I am only one person in the hospital and I can only attest my own. I am very disappointed, to say the least, and I'm very, I thought I didn't expect that to come from him because in a way it's embarrassing, to say the least, for a senior person like that to say things that are unfounded, that you haven't done due process. I thought you sit in a public forum like this, you have no idea about, or you haven't gone to do your homework, even if you are told by somebody else. I thought it makes all the sense to them verify facts, but I'm talk the work, because this world is really small, and I think that sometimes it's not difficult to prove things whether they are true or not true. But if you, at your age, you could go and sit down and say things that are not founded, they are not true. You can't be able to justify. You can't be able to prove. I think that for me is very embarrassing. As one, because I'm a doctor and he's a senior doctor. For it that to come from a doctor is an embarrassment. And two, the fact that it came from the chairman of the hospital board is very, very, very embarrassing.
Lan nga foog ne moom la CMD Amar Al Jafari gisee li nga xam ne moom la Dr. Sallah wax ba pare teg si dooli ndax discuss nga lii ak sa CMD?
So yes, I did. In fact, as procedure demands it, Bima ñëwee attack, he came to attack me, insult me, name me names, and one of I, for my limits moments, I never thought when it happened, I didn't only stop at telling the CMD, but I wrote a formal letter, a complaint to the CMD, and I've asked that this should be sent to the board.
Lolu kañ la xew after bu ma defee moom interview bi ndax before
I did interview. This was before I did interview. And after this interview, last week, 2 days ago, I had a Sulakodiga. Oh yes. Then I went to ask the CMD that, of course, I'm told that there are so many things that he has said about me again. And as it is, as procedure demands it, I will write again to give a complaint about this.
Regarding limwa suma interview bi ak mom.
Yeah.
After interview bi nga xamne mom la def ak Dr. Sallah, ndax wax nga Dr. Sallah?
No, waxuma mom.
Lan nga fogné moy di reaction at the president's office?
I cannot tell. I'm not. As you speak right now, I'm working. I won't be able to tell what the reaction of the president's office will be, because my work is what I have. So from Monday to Sunday, I'm at work. If I'm not at work, I'm home. So I may not know what the reactions will be at the president's office.
Li nga xamne mom la Dr. Sallah wax yëngal na social media, yëngal na Gambia yépp. Ndikte wax yooyu mu wax taxna ñu bari gëna fokne soo gisee Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital amun ay machines ñun ñi dem Dakar di faju ji yéen a fa nekk di lekk xaalis bi because of corruption nge. Ma bëgg a xam rek ndax di nga mën a use medium bi si waxtaan bi pour leeralal Gambia ni li nga xam ne mooy li xew ndax li dëgg la am déet.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. I will just I like to be very humble I don't like to praise myself because that's not the purpose of my training. But I will say a few things. When we took over the hospital, myself and Dr. Al-Jafari, fekk nañ de CT scan bi di doon dox. Lopitaan bi amutoon MRI.
Pour ñi xamul lan mooy CT scan, lan mooy CT scan ak lan mooy MRI su ko fi nga continuer.
mooy machine yu rëy yu ndee use pour nataal nit ki seen bopp nit yi boppam o nataal yoo xam ne boobu leen dee use pour nataal yaram bi before nit ñi dañ fi dee jógee dem Sénégal pour def ko sometimes pour CT scan moom bu njëkk bi dañ doon dem Abubacarr pour def ko biñ doon when I became Deputy Chief Medical Director under Dr. Professor Al-Jafari, those were not working. The lab was not able to look up a full blood count. But as we speak today, I can tell you that, and at that time we didn't even have a proper X-ray. And the lab apart from full blood count machine, there's no other test lab. And from then to now, successfully had a lot of people who have gone to do their training, and they have passed exams to become fellows, to become members of the colleges that you are a graduate. Now, currently, there are about 8 disciplines people can train in Gambia, in the hospital, Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. The process, the services operation of the hospital has been improved significantly. We have now gotten a bank that is collecting money to be able to make sure that our finances are in place. So you can imagine, I thought that for me, as a clinician, who maybe I'm not that experienced enough, but I thought for me that is a great improvement from where we were before. Just to name a few.
Ma bëgg xam rek ban message nga am pour wax nit yi waa Gambia ndite su fekkee ne nit ñi ñu ngi déggal li nga xam ne respected man like Dr. Adama Sallah nekk di chairman of the board of Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital nit ku mel noonu su génnee di wax li moo wax ñin ñi dañ koy fulal dañ koy faydal te dañ koy gëm ma bëgg xam rek yow gannaaw boo xamee ne docteur Adama Sallah wax na li nga xam ne moom la bëgg Gambien ni dégg ko yow ana ban message nga am pour Gambien ni lan nga bëgg Gambien ni understand si li nga xam ne mooy xew Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital ndikte at this period of time si jamono yi Gambien yu bari gisee nañ ko ne Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital dafa corrupt am nañu ko gisee ne docteur Samate dafa am pour dem CMD Jafari dafa am pour dem yow sa boppa sa da nga am pour dem ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi xalaatee nii yow lan mooy sa tontu lan nga am pour wax leen.
So Mr. Njie man pour bàyyi liggéey bi loolu tuuti la si man and for I'm sure ne xëy na moo may gënal lu may def léegi nii because it takes so much of my time because man I'm a person that want to get results. Boma called the last time I'm and I'm Saturday I'm still here I'm at work so is that I yenen magia amud njering because mag danga wara wadiga and danga wara jup danga wara wax lo xamne lol mo la or and so demé nga dekk yenen place and yenen makama lo musa wax ci aduna bi dafa wara nekk diga there shouldn't be any iota of doubt in what you say before you say it because it goes a long way. I'm very disappointed ne magbumel ni bobu nonu to be able to put all those things out there and hasn't got any proof amut any process bi biñ ko waye sax nañ ko investigate lool bëggut investigation mom dafa bëgg rek def lu bëgg def nga xamne koku dafa am an ulterior motive su ne won yow la abi you've asked wana lum xam dem nga laaj ma man and xëy na di nga laaj keneen tamit xëy na di nga dem seet as far as I expect from a journalist di nga dem laajte du ma la fi wax ndax yooyu digga la su la neexee sax nga call company yoo xam ne yu mu nekk di tuddee nii nga yow call leen laaj leen yow ñu ne Dr. Jagne mu ngi la fay some thousands of dollars or Dr. Jagne mu ngi la def lii or you can be able to find out. In this day and age, you don't even need to write letters. Telephone calls is so easy. I thought as a senior person, and Lola, most people who are genuine enough would have done than to sit on a radio program and tarnish the image of seriously hardworking, dedicated staff under you. Because most of these people, Hegna Mansa and Manak Al-Jafari, we are senior people and we are very highly qualified people and probably at a high level. But the people that he is following, they are very, very junior people in the hospital. I think that Pungatok Dylan Wahe Wakbini Manakuruse, I would be very ashamed of doing that. But Munlo definitely no logum. You can only do your own. As a person, the profession that I belong to is unheard of. People saying things that don't exist, things that can do musahalat. That is very, 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 very unprofessional and very, very much out of line, out of protocol. But yalla lum xam rek doyna.
Kan nga min Dr. Sallah nga min ndax keneen ndax docteur kan nga min si kan nga jubale li nga wax ni
mané Dr. Sallah lay wax
okay
as a chairman you have been heading the hospital for 16 years and you don't have any other means to regulate the hospital but for you to have allegations allowed not facts allegations you haven't verified Madam Toast radio station pour wax len ne li mo nek l'hôpital ni la corrupté it's just like the alkali su ne man suma deka bi ni la corrupté keri ni la keri sangam ni la corrupté fekk yow ya alkali bi lolu what does that tell about you?
Finally Dr. Jagne ndax am nga ben message bo xamne bi buga nga docteur Sallah dégga ko wala ban message moom nga buga ñi liggéey ci lopitaan bi nekk sa onda lan nga buga ñi nekk ci lopitaan bi ñi jëfandikoo lopitaan bi ban message nga amal Gambian ni bala mala ba nga dem
dina la wax ne Gambia fii am na ñoo xam ne dañ foog ne ñoom rek ñoo war a nekk docteur Gambia fii dañ foog ne waxtu du am boo xam ne ñoom ku santa seen santa o ku tudda seen tur o koo xam ne bokk na ñaa ñoom su dul ñooñu kenn du mën a nekk docteur lii commencé gut ab man o commencé gut ak ñu tuddee nii am na ñoo si good doctors ñoo xam ne ñu ngi fi doon liggéey ñoo xam ne dem na toog si radio or si télévision si newspaper di leen yaaxa nii so this is not new so having to have me being the victim, I would just say it's unfair, but I will not say it's unexpected because I don't see why that will look strange. Because Togna Fee, Lulu, Dr. Abubacarr Jagne before, so and so many other people. But I will say that. Well, them not newspaper. They want to qualified. So all those are not today things. You have to tell this thing is about the hospital. Is in between him and Fum Ame Halis Rek. Lol my problem because Abubacarr Jagne had a clinic opposite Senegambia so fatally before. AfricMed was around Senegambia. I'm sure you remember. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to move to his own. Yes. So he had to go to the media and try to because Momone on register of the Medical and Dental Council. So through abuse of his ambit to use it for such purposes is not new. So I don't see why. I'm not surprised to see this, but I don't know how low somebody can go to go and to an extent of following a colleague Yahako in this manner. I want to encourage the hospital staff to know that not everything that is said is true, and the hospital Gambia Banjul Lopitan Moisun only hope for tertiary care as we are. I want everybody Saligay as a Tahawaibi Muneka to develop the place. And when top of Kohamne, I'm with interest of the institution, Bugut Barake institution because Sinalulu, Mombim Neke bought Chiabelege. Mangis Malum in the law Hamne, would I say, we Munayo today, the Dr. Salamoko in the Nanko today, Dr. Sallah. So Lulu. The young people, I'm not sure he's an example, and I would advise the staff or the people who are learning under Wintop of some Jiko. I wish and pray that we can do this for the sake of country and God.
Dr. Jagne, ma buga xam te du ñaka Gambia ni buga nañu xam mba li nga joge in another region in the Gambia bu uté ak Banjul ak li nga tok ci wheelchair ndax mën nañu wax ne li moy li tax ngay face yena challenges ci su fekkee ne amna kuy xalaatee ni yow lan moy sa tontu jëmale ko ci kooka
waaw asa duma ko commencé wax moy ne dëkk bi ñun ñëpp ko mom and I think of course everybody gonna face challenges wante mom ci bopam lu mu wax ci gémmiñam lu ma wax bi ma ñëwén attaque mu ne mom boy half dialer mom wa Banjul la mom boy half dialer man ay fokk na ne half dialer wa Banjul la l'hôpital bi nek man fokk na l'hôpital bi Gambia fa ko mom so ndem man ci dek la joggé da Banjul la joggé fokk na that doesn't matter what matters to me moy ne amé Gambian ma ngi daanu suma doole di dimbalé askan bi liggéey bi mo fi tek loolu la nek di def fuma joggé foog na loolu is not relevant and I think that will be the lowest level Gambia will go to pour tana ku wara njit l'hôpital ne fum joggé and ban het la what is more important moy nda amna qualification bi nda mu ngi tok ci wheelchair nda togu ci wheelchair na mun na perform duties am as a doctor foog na loolu mo gëna am solo
kuy dox ak ku du dox borom taax ak borom néegi ñax ñëpp a am li gën a important rek mooy ñu liggéeyal suñu dëkk juddoo si dex gi juddoo Banjul ñun ñëpp a am regionalism tribalism di tuuti la ñett because of lum doon wala fu mu jógee loolu warut am benn place in the Gambia. Mr Jagne fi mu nekk waxtaan bi li si des mooy 1 minute fan ngay daanelee ak lan mooy sa mujjanteeli kaddu baat.
suma mujjanteeli kaddu bi mooy ne Gambia rek lañ am and I wish ñun ñëpp ñu bokk loxo sampa dëkk bi in the interest of the country buñ tax tas dëkk bi because mag yi liñ xamee woon mag yi dañ war a dimbale pour nit ñi juboo nit ñi nekk benn wala mag warta tax nit ñi di tasaaro o di yaaxat place boo xam ne kenn mënu fi everybody goes through the hospital lopitaan moom kenn mënu koo raw nekkut ne président nga nekkut ne ministre nga nekkut ne soo feebaree moom mun ngaa ñëw lopitaan ngay mujjee and Banjul nag mooy the last hope for everybody in this country lu war a indi problem in that place fanaa ku ko mën a aar ku ko munta aar jaru taxut nga koy instigate. I think for me that's what I will advise everybody, that we should make sure that ñu taxaw shoulder to shoulder to make the hospital what it's supposed to be. That is my interest, and that is everybody's interest, and that should be the way forward.
Dr. Abubacarr Jagne maa ngi lay gërëm di la sant si sa waxtu maa ngi lay gërëm tam di la sant si lépp loo xam ne feeñal nga ko fii ak lépp loo xam ne waxtaanee nga ko fii pour Gambie yépp dal di dégga your side of the story. Mbokk yi fii la waxtaan ji dal di am fi mu ne duma def ludut dal di ëmbal lépp loo xam ne Dr. Abubacarr Jagne waxtaanee na ko fii dal di leen ko jébal. Bu leen fàtte ne waxtaan bi dama ko def pour jox Dr. Abubacarr Jagne opportunity pour moom tamit mu daldi wax li nga xam ne mooy gis-gisam jëmale ko si li nga xam ne moom la Dr. Adama Sallah daldi wax jëmale ko si Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. Gannaaw boo xamee ne Dr. Adama Sallah daldi na wax li nga xam ne mooy gis-gisam li nga xam ne mooy jàngatam si Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. Lii mooy li waral ñu indi fi Dr. Abubacarr Jagne moom mi nga xam ne mooy di Deputy Chief of Medical Director pour mu wax li nga xam ne mooy gis-gisam dal di def ay tontu si li nga xam ne moom la Dr. Adama Sallah dal di wax si fan yi ñu jox gannaaw. Si ngàttal fim ne yéen ñépp Gambie yépp dégg neen li nga xam ne moom la Dr. Adama Sallah wax jëmale ko si Dr. Jagne ak CMD Dr. Amar Al Jafari ak Minister of Health di Dr. Samate. Gannaaw loola lépp fim ne nag nii si waxtaan bi dégga ngeen tontu yi nga xam ne moom la fi Dr. Abubacarr Jagne dal di joxe. Bondoog duma def ludut dal di ëmbal lépp loo xam ne Dr. Abubacarr Jagne wax na ko fii feeñal na ko fii daldi leen ko jébbal bàyyi waxtaan ji mu daldi continuer ci seeni xel. Yéen Gambian yi yéenay àttekat yi nga xam ne yéenay àtte li nga xam ne moom la Dr. Adama Sallah wax ak li nga xam ne moom la Dr. Abubacarr Jagne daldi wax. Seeni mbokka Salieu Njie. Salaamu aleykum wa rahmatullah wa barakaatu wa ahiru daawaana an alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.